All right, guys. So this is going to be my attempt at a lot better, a lot more stable, less shaky version of how to build a 1,000 horsepower stage 2 47 RE, 48 RE, 46 RE. I want to go over the steps a little bit better, a little bit more clear, and really just help you guys with any unanswered questions you have. First things first, you're going to want to get the case absolutely clean. You're going to want to flat sand the back of your case. You're going to want to flat sand your valve body sealing surfaces. And then I like to come into these accumulator bores and clean them up with one of these tools that I made. I just take some round stock and I'll cut a slit down the middle, and then you can get a red SOS pad in there and put it on a drill, and you can clean up any hole you want. Any hole's the goal. So first things first, whenever there's a lot of controversy on this, guys, about bolt-in sprags. I do it regardless because I don't want to come back. I don't want the fucking bullshit. So a lot of guys say, "Oh, you only need a bolt-in sprag on a full manual valve body." Well, I've seen sprags fail on some of my aggressive auto shifting valve bodies. So the only thing holding your sprag in from the factory is it's just pressed into this case, and then what they do is they come around here, around the outer perimeter, and then you see those little dash marks. They take a chisel and peen in the case to press against the steel race. So that's not really ideal. And when you start putting a lot of load on these motherfuckers, you can this steel sprag can get loose, and if you fucking get that, if that sprag strips out the splines in the case, typically it'll crack the case in the back of the case, and we definitely don't want that. As far as buying a bolt-in sprag, I wouldn't buy it. I like to drill and tap the existing sprag. All you need is the A&A tool. This is the Pro tool, or this is the more expensive tool. They have two tools. They have one for like someone that's just doing it one time, and then someone like me that's doing it a lot. I've used this tool over 100 times. So basically, you're going to get it bolted onto the back of your case after you've gone and flat sanded it. I like to take a nice whetstone and come across all the sealing surfaces back here, and then I'll come across all the sealing surfaces here, anywhere that is critical to the valve body sealing or the overdrive section sealing. So after you do all that, I got the first coat of paint on the case, whatever. Then you can move forward and then start doing this. You don't want to start working on a dirty trans. That's the last thing you want to do. Get the fucking thing clean. Otherwise, you don't even bother. I mean, if you're doing it for yourself, have at it. But you're going to need a 9/32 drill bit. And then basically if you're going to be drilling and tapping your existing race instead of buying a $150 one that's already drilled and tapped, we're going to want to drill through the case, and then we're going to use the same drill bit as we're drilling. We're going to put just a little dimple into the steel sprag race. So you'll see how I'll go through the aluminum, and then it'll move a little bit more, and then it'll hit the sprag race, and then I just keep drilling for another 10 seconds. That way I can dimple where I got to drill and tap the sprag race after I remove it. So we're putting a lot of good parts in this trans. No corners are cut. Sonic's billet input, Transgo TFRE Pro kit, Raybes's GPZ clutches, and everything in between. Durabond one-piece PTFE coated bushings. I got one of these overseas. These are what everyone uses. Even the best shops, they use these fucking. You see how it's got a little puzzle piece right there? It's not a one-piece solid bushing. Durabonds are made in USA. These I'd have to imagine these are overseas. But yeah, there's no. Whenever you install one of these regular puzzle piece bushings, you always run the risk of accidentally fucking up the bushing because of where they meet together. It's real easy to fucking contort the bushing or distort it, and it's just it's a nightmare. Now we have these cool bushing installer tools from Stephen Warner. If anybody's interested in these, I'll drop a link. But the problem with steel bushing install tools, or metal install tools, is they can also damage the really delicate bushings that got to go into these transmissions. So these are made out of a material that you could fucking smack with a hammer. You could put it in a shop press, however you want to do it. And they're like $20 for it's like $40 for the kit or some shit. But this one's like this pump install tool. I think this is like $16 on eBay. But you can buy the whole kit if you wanted from them. I recommend doing that for sure. It's just that way you can install the shit correctly. You don't got to worry about fucking up the bushings that you probably only have one of if you're doing this stuff yourself. So when we get the Sprag drilled and tapped, we're going to be putting in some 1/4x28 bolts through the case into the Sprag, essentially, when we're done. 1 inch long, 1/4x28 fine thread. That's just what I use. It works the best. That's what like A&A transmission uses. What we got here? We got genuine Mopar electronics, and then like one of the biggest upgrades you could do to these is the low reverse piston. Highly recommend definitely getting one of these. I go a step further. This is from Superior Transmission Parts. They include this piston with it, which is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So you can see how it just goes in like that. Obviously, you're going to transfer over your spring and stuff. But I like to get the Sonics version, which has an O-ring on it. And it's that much better. Then where it's going through the billet piston, it's got an O-ring to seal it even better. Really nice part. The problem with the factory low reverse pistons is they're really short, and they like to cock in the bore sometimes when the band gets pretty worn and it hasn't been adjusted. When they cock in the bore, they like to crack down the middle, or fucking you'll get the part of this that cracks. So these are $35 on eBay. I highly recommend just getting it. And then of course we're gonna go with the TCS kickdown servo. It's a must. These just work the best. Set the band 2 turns out, and you're on your way. These are a really nice part. They got a bushed top plate with a lip seal underneath. Really high quality. Really high quality. Really good shit here. You can get the Sonics one, but you just cannot run a 5.0 lever. Absolutely not. Now, as far as input shafts, we got a Sonics billet one piece. This is the shaft you're definitely going to want to get if you can, if it's available. Solid one piece, but sometimes those aren't available, like what we have going on here. And then this is a TCS billet miraging 2-piece billet input. Technically, they're both rated at 1,000 horsepower. I have never been able to break a 23 spline Sonics shaft, even at 1,200 horsepower and 7,900 pounds of weight. That's how much the truck weighs. I haven't personally tried to break one of these 1,000 horsepower rated 2-piece shafts, but for this application, the customer is only going to be making 600 horse. But I go from a stage 1, which is a 500 horse trans, and then right to my stage 2. It's built to handle 1,000. It'll handle more than that, but I just build them to hold 1,000. There's no reason to go like a in between or shit like that. Stage 1 has a billet single disc. Stage 2, you get a billet flex plate, billet input, billet triple disc lifetime warranty converter, and you just get all the good shit that you need. Like a lot of guys, like a lot of shops will sell you a trans that's rated for 700, but they're leaving out a lot of essential, and a lot of good parts that they should be putting in it, even in a 700 horse trans. Genuine Rostra sensors here. This is the newest version, the newest rendition of their governor pressure transducers. If you ever get a 46 RE, 47 RE, 48 RE that wants to start out in third gear, limp mode, this is the culprit, but this is not anymore. This is their newest version of the transducer. The previous version, high pressure version, was rated for 200 psi, and they would fail still. The original version can't handle a high pressure valve body. This version that just recently came out, this is rated for 500 psi of pressure. So this is like the end all be all basically for having electronic issues with your 96 to 07 4-speed. And then as far as the governor pressure solenoid, we're gonna go with the Rostra oversized solenoid. Basically, this is the Borg Warner version. You know, if you look at the OEM solenoid, you'll see that this is a good 30% larger. That's all you need. You don't need the D&J billet fucking bullshit. Save your money. This is the best combo you can get is these two right here. It doesn't get any better than that. You're just buying snake oil, guys. So I'm gonna get this chucked up in the drill, and I'm gonna drill this case real quick, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as drilling through the case, and then dimpling into the rear of the Sprag, so that way we have a visual of where we need to drill and tap in the drill press. It's not hard, guys. Like, it's not like as precision as you would think it is. As long as you got a decent little drill press, and I have a shitty drill press, and you're good to go. So literally, we're just gonna come in here. We don't even need no fucking lube or anything like that. Going in dry. So we're through there. All right, guys. So continuing on with this Stage 2 1,000 horsepower 46, 47, 48 RE build. I'm just getting the bolt-in Sprag out of the way right off the bat, because that's one of the most time-consuming parts to do, and you're gonna want to do it. So, like I was saying, if you have a sharp drill bit, you're gonna drill through the case with your A&A jig, and then I was saying you're gonna want to drill into the case and then into the Sprag race just a little bit, so you leave some dimples. The dimples there so you could pilot your drill press. So it's basically all I do. You're gonna have 6. I already got 2 of the holes drilled, but you're just gonna get your little dimple there on the Sprag race. It's not really the Sprag race isn't really too hard of a material, so it drills real easy. You just get a little bit of this what is this shit? I got it at a yard sale. It works really well. I don't fucking know. Anyway, we're gonna fire up our old Cummins drill press. Some China Cummins. They're pretty clever for fucking doing that. But anyway, I got it on the 760 RPM setting. Number 1. I wish I can get it a little slower, but I'm gonna drill all the way through it. Nice and slow. I'm not gonna rush it. I only got 1 bit. Just barely putting tension on the drill press. You want a nice smooth hole so we can tap it pretty easily. Letting it do its thing. I'm not forcing it down. we're going to come vacuum up our chips real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like. Almost cracked my screen there. All right. Nice oil filter vice grips. Down. You're going to be right on the edge when you're drilling these holes. No worries though, it's perfectly normal. Like some of them you could even see where it almost got through a little bit, but you're going to be good to go. That's just how they are. Now with this new camera setup that mounts on my chest, now I can no longer see what the fuck I'm doing for the sake of the video though. So yeah, that's all it is, guys. And then I'm gonna get these other 3 drilled, and then I guess I'll get a little bit of me tapping them if you don't know how to tap holes. But tapping this is the more time consuming part, because for some reason it's just a pain in the ass to tap these. If you're rushing through it, you're gonna go through a few taps. I suggest getting a quality tap, get a couple of them, and just take your time. 1/4 by 28 is what we're tapping the holes to. And then here, I'll show you on the case. When you get this out of your case, you're just gonna take a punch and just punch on one side, punch on the other side, punch on this side, in a star pattern, and this thing it'll just slowly walk out. Don't just focus on one side. Just keep hitting one side, because you're going to crack your transmission case. When you get this out, there's going to be all kinds of debris and gunk down here. You're going to definitely want to clean all that shit up out of there and get it nice and clean. And then when this goes back in, I highly suggest just coating this all in red Loctite around the perimeter. And it's when these go in, this groove goes down. Just for FYI, the tapered side like that, how it's got the taper, always goes down. So when you go to install this though, you're obviously going to want to line up your holes. But you're going to get all that Loctite on there just for extra insurance, and then get her slowly tapped down with with your hammer of choice. It's very carefully though. It's gentle. It's a gentle procedure. You do not want to crack the case. But this modification right here greatly improves the durability of how hard you can beat the fuck out of this transmission. You guys got to remember, I'm building these for guys that are literally having me build the trans so they can take the truck out and beat the fucking shit out of it like it owes them money. So like everything I'm doing in these videos is because I have to build them to hold up to fucking these guys just beating the fuck out of them. And I have a really good recipe, and I have no problem with my units holding up at all. It just takes, you just gotta, it took me many transmission pulls out of my truck over the course of like 2 summers just to figure all this shit out. And now I'm at the point where I'm perfectly comfortable building one that'll hold 1500 plus horsepower. But when I first started out, I couldn't get one to hold 500 horsepower. And the reason I wanted to learn is because I'm too cheap to fucking pay somebody 10 grand to do it when I know I can physically do it. But if I want to learn how to build a transmission to hold some power, you got to get fucking obsessed with it. You can't, it's something you have to be like just totally distracted by until you learn it. And that's what I did. I don't know how many people are capable of learning like that, but these videos I'm making are for my viewers that are also cheap or also low on money, that don't want to pay another shop to fucking do it. Smart individuals that are capable of doing it themselves. They just need a couple shortcuts, because let me tell you something, the built transmission industry is vastly gatekept. So nobody shares information. Well, guess what? I'm fucking shutting all that shit down. The Built Dodge Auto DIY guys are about to have all the fucking information they need, because when I wanted to learn, nobody would tell me like the specific things I needed to know to get these to hold power. And I went through a lot of trials and tribulations figuring this shit out the hard way. So like you can buy a ATSG rebuild manual, But that only tells you how to build a stock transmission, guys. And those manuals really are just fucking just a pile of shit anyway, because the clearances are just way off. The pictorials are not correct. I'm going to show you guys exactly how you should do it. And if I don't build these units right for my customers, and I build a pretty good volume of them, it's my ass, my reputation. So you better believe I got my research in, and I know how to build this product before I even try to sell it to somebody. I mean, what type of person sells a product and like doesn't know what they're doing? You know, that's fucking stupid to me. It's embarrassing, honestly. If I'm gonna sell something or offer a product, you better fucking believe I fucking have mastered it, or I'm pretty close. You know, I'm only human, but very rarely do mistakes happen. It's all about taking your time. And these Dodge Autos are really simple to build. It's just all about parts combinations and how you're setting the things up. One little change in the parts combos, like all these parts I'm using, is by design. I'm not just using what I'm getting the best deals on. All these parts, the frictions, the types of kickdown servos, the fucking everything I'm using in the valve body, it all works perfectly together. And it's taken me, I probably dropped the valve body on my truck 100 times figuring this shit out. I've had the trans out fucking 200 times over a course of a summer figuring this shit out. And then I would add power, figure out what broke next, etc., etc. And I got it up over 1,200 horsepower, and was relentlessly beating the fuck out of it for a couple summers before I was comfortable selling these to people. So anyway, I'm going to get to drilling here, and I can't wait for this video to be done, because this is going to be a lot. I'm trying my best to make you guys a way better quality video explaining everything. I've just been real busy. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading. This video, I promise you, is going to be a lot more detailed, and there shouldn't be many questions after like you see this video. And if I don't cover something, just hit me up in the comments. I will gladly fucking help you out with anything you guys need. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please help a brother out. Alright guys, this is what the back of the case looks like when it's drilled, and then I go ahead and I countersink the holes just slightly so the bolt heads can seal up pretty good with the case, because we don't want any leaks here at these bolts. So the next thing I do is I install the Sprag race with the holes lined up. See, they're all nice and lined up. Sprag race is drilled and tapped, and then here's a couple mods we're going to do to the case for lubrication. You're going to go 0.750 over, and you're going to drill a 1/16 hole right here. And then this is another mod that I do. I go 500 thou over and drill an angled 1/16 hole right there. What this hole right here does is it lubes the overdrive section really well. The overdrive brakes, everything, gets some fluid back there, keeps some shit cool. And you know, the planetaries, it eventually work its way back there. The rear bearing gets more lube. This isn't going to hurt any. This isn't going to impact your total volume of your pump at all. Just don't go any bigger than 1/16 of an inch, which is, this is like a 64 thou drill bit is what it equals out to. But just 0.750 inches over right there, and then 0.500 over right here. Let me show you, just so y'all got the visual. I'm a visual learner, just so y'all got the number. So we're going 750 over here, then you're gonna go 500 thou over here. It's not fussy. It's not hard. These are really good, really good lubrication mods. What this hole here does is it allows your low reverse Sprag to get lube, and then this surface right here on some high mileage units, some worn out units, you'll get lube where the low reverse drum will meet right here. The Sprag gets lube to stay cool. Sometimes on your low reverse drums, the inner bore of your lower reverse drums will be all tore up. That lube mod right there helps that. And then we're going to be going with a Sonics overdrive piston support. With a loop, with the O-ring on it. Before I install this, I enlarge these holes to 100 thou. 100 thou, 100 thou. And then what the second thing you want to do is make sure this check ball is sealing really well. I'll fill this up with some ATF and just make sure that check ball seals. Hear it dinging around. If that check ball doesn't seal very well, you're gonna be stepping on your own dick when you don't have any overdrive. Now this is a mandatory thing I do on every transmission. This is just a way better part. It gets more lube to the intermediate shaft. It's just something to do. You got an O-ring here, factory doesn't. 9 times out of 10, the inner bores on these are worn out, or this area is worn out from the lower reverse drum riding on it. So this is a little bit of a pricey piece. They're like 60 bucks. You can get the cheaper one that doesn't have Sonics written on it for like half the price, but either or, get this. This is a no-brainer. Shops that build you a trans and they don't put shit like this in there are the shops that are just getting you for every fucking cent they can, and they're not giving you the best product they can. If this impacts my total profit just a little bit, but I can give my customer a better part, 100%, that's what I do every time. That's why, like, I'm doing things you guys won't see. There's no other videos on YouTube that you're going to see where the guys are doing shit like this, that stuff like that. It's because they're trying to get the trans in and out. They don't really care. I'm pretty passionate in what I do. I'm not going to offer a product to somebody that I like absolutely can't build the best to my ability. So this is a hobby for me. I don't have to do this. I like doing it. It's turning into my full-time fucking job, though. I'll tell you that right now. But like I said, you're not going to find another video on YouTube where anyone really even knows what the fuck they're talking about. Or you're going to find a couple guys on YouTube that show you how to tear them down. And then they'll have like a sped up assembly process of them just slapping shit together. And they don't tell you like what the clearances are, what they're doing. And then pretty much those guys that have the videos of them putting together, they don't even know how to build a built unit. There's a big difference between a stock rebuild and a rebuild that's going to get the fucking shit beat out of it with a 1,000 horse Cummins in front of it. Just think about that, 1,000 horse Cummins. So any diesel engine typically makes about, if they make 1,000 horse, it's probably going to make close to 2,000 pounds of torque, you know. So usually like a Cummins 5.9 or 6.7, if they're making 1,000 horse, they're probably closer to 1,600 pounds of torque. But that's a lot for a transmission to hold, and it has to hold, otherwise you're going to get fucking dragged on Facebook, you're going to get bad reviews. So if you're going to start doing this for people, you better fucking know what you're doing, you better do your own research. This video is intended for guys that have 1,000 horsepower trucks, plus, you know, we're building a 1,000 horse rated unit here. In my own testing, it's held over 1,200, 1,273 to be exact, you know, before I called it a day, because this unit, at the end of the day, only needs to hold 1,000. But I like to build a little headroom in with my units. Like, I don't want it to just barely hold 1,000. Like, if someone's making 1,000, I don't want this thing to be barely hanging on. I want there to be a little buffer there, so the trans isn't really struggling to hold that kind of power. So if you're making 1,000 horse, even if you're making 500 horse, there's no cons to building the trans with more beef into it. It's not going to drive any worse. It's going to be way better all around. You're going to love it. There's no way you can like overbuild one of these and make it drive like shit. I'll tell you that right now. So a lot of guys are scared to like get something that's overbuilt for their truck. That's the best thing you can do. You know, a lot of guys are scared that it's not going to drive good. It's going to drive excellent. It's all on who builds it. So I'm trying to eliminate your guys' hobby getting all fucked up by having someone build it that doesn't know what they're doing, when, you know, most of my viewers are capable of building them themselves. So I'm showing you guys how to build these yourselves. If you got the time, it's not your daily driver, obviously, you know. If you're quicker than me, you could fucking do it on your daily if you want. And I'm going to post an itemized parts list. You know, you guys can message me on Facebook. My name is Justin Sellers, Sellers, and I'd be glad to help you. If I do help you and you message me on Facebook, tag me in a post thanking me. It really helps with the algorithm. Don't forget, guys, like and subscribe. And I'm gonna start on the next step of this trans assembly. So let me get my my camera mounted on my chest, and then we're going to do some hands-on stuff I'm going to show you guys. So here's how we're going to press in this direct drum bushing. My man Stephen Warner's coming in clutch with these 3D printed bushing tools. They're really good for not fucking up the delicate bronze bushings like your typical metal bushing driver setup would. And most of the time when you get these bushings, you only have one. You don't really have a spare. I mean, I happen to have fucking like a dozen of each, but your typical DIY guy is not going to have another one on hand. So these things come real handy for just being extra sure that you're going to get the bushing in correctly, but you also don't have to spend $150+ on a quality bushing driver kit for, you know, your average guy that's just going to do it a couple times, one time. I like them just because I can use them until I, you know, wear them out and then dispose of them. Because it never fails at the worst times. I always fuck up one of these bushings because they got a little puzzle piece right there, and I usually opt for the Durabond one-piece bushings, full round bushings. But lately they've just been on back order, so I have no choice but to use the OEM Chrysler bushings. But typically I use the Durabond bushings, and they're so much nicer, made in the USA. I don't know where the hell fucking these things are made, but anyway, I got some sleeve retainer compound on there, you know, copious amount, because I want that bushing to stay in place, and I don't want any fluid to get behind it. So we're just gonna carefully just press this fucker in there. The hardest bushing to do on one of these is probably the stator support. It's hard to remove, and it's very tedious to install. Alright, we're going to see where we're at right there. It still looks like we're a bit high. Hang on. I'll show you guys exactly where to put it. We're pretty close. Oh yeah, we're right on the money actually. Perfect. You can see that the little, it's hard to see because I got it so perfect, but there's a little ledge where that bushing will stop at, and you don't want to go past that ledge because your direct drum sealing rings seal just beyond this bushing. You can see the faint witness marks from those sealing rings. And if that bushing's too high or too low, it'll fuck with how those seal. Yeah, we're perfect all the way through. And now I'm just going to clean up this little bit extra sleeve retaining compound. Some guys say, oh, don't use that shit, you're just wasting your money. Well, I don't view it as wasting my money if it's going to prevent me from doing fucking rework or having to come back. And if somebody, for whatever fucking reason, is crying because they can't get that bushing out, bring it to a man. Just bring it back to me. And usually those people are just not really smart enough to know, oh, get out the torch. If you ever got red Loctite, people cry about red Loctite so fucking much. And with these Cummins engine built, you know, anything Cummins related making power, you gotta fucking use red Loctite on everything. And people are just cry about it because they can't ever loosen it up. Well, quit being a bitch. Like if you got a problem with loosening something with some red Loctite, dude, just stop working on it. Honestly, I don't encounter these issues because, I mean, well, look at these forearms. Look at them bubbies. Anyway, we got the stage 2 coming together here. This one I happen to be using Sonic's kickdown servo and accumulator, Mr. Randy J's USA made 4.2 lever. Superior low reverse piston, Sonic's low reverse piston pin with an O-ring. This thing is going to get your 6 full thickness GPZs in the direct, 4 typical thickness GPZs in the Ford, GPZs throughout. We got some case mods going on here. That's a lube mod right there. We got some other lube mods going on with this thing. We got a Sonic's overdrive piston support with an O-ring. You should always use one of those. If you don't, you're just being cheap. We got our bronze lower reverse drum bushing facing the right way. And this one's coming together. It's going to get a Transgo TFRE Pro kit in the valve body, always, with some Sonics parts sprinkled in with it. We got a bunch of shit going on in these. But yeah. Alright, y'all, so we got red Loctite in all of our 1 inch long 1/4x28 bolts for the bolt-in Sprag. Looking good. Looking real good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get our torque wrench and we're going to torque these to 156 inch-pounds, which is 13 foot-pounds roughly. I can tell you right now how many foot-pounds. Oh yeah, 13. So 156 inch-pounds. I got them by pretty close by hand, so we'll just, yeah, just go over each one, guys. Gotta do this. Make sure you tighten these. And I put red Loctite on the threads and just a tad of sealant underneath the head of the bolt, just to seal against the case. That's why I kind of countersunk the case a little bit. This little number in the corner here tells you how many times you torque something. So I can start right here. I zeroed it out. And watch, it'll tell you one time once it stops fucking blinking. Yeah, so it's really nice for when you're doing shit like this. But even if it tells me I did all 6, like you guys saw, it said 12. I checked it twice already. I was doing this for the video. You just always want to be sure. So we're going to shut this bad boy off for a second. Then we're going to get our Trans-Tech paper rubber kit, get our seal out. Make sure you put the plugs in the back side of this if it's a RE. And RH will use tubes going to the governor right there. Lube up your O-ring real well. Lube up this part of the case real well. And these two holes go here. And we're just going to walk that O-ring in a little bit. Nice and tight. Nice firm seal there. Then we're going to put red Loctite on these bolts and torque them to 13 foot-pounds as well. So I'll get that stuff done and I'll get to the next step. Alright, after you get those overdrive piston support bolts torqued, you're going to drop in your low reverse Sprag, and then you're going to drop in your low reverse band. And then you come and grab the low reverse drum, and you're just slowly going to walk it in, going counterclockwise, or you're going to go clockwise. This drum should freewheel clockwise and then lock up going counterclockwise. I can't turn it counterclockwise. If you have that low reverse band or Sprag in backwards, it will go in backwards. It will freewheel the wrong way, and then you're going to be pretty screwed. You're going to have to take it all back apart. And then right here we have an upgraded bronze low reverse drum thrust washer. We're going to get rid of this plastic one. Really important though, when you install this, make sure the bronze side is facing down. You want it to face the drum. A lot of guys I see, they put them in facing up like this. It's completely wrong. You want this, the thrust side of the washer to face the low reverse drum. These usually come with your thrust washer kits. If they don't, I'll put the part number and link in the comments. All right, I want to show you guys a little bit on this low reverse piston. You see how solid it is? I can't move it left and right very much. It fits nice and tight in the bore. Let me actually 1 second here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get this out of there. So here's this is the upgraded low reverse piston. We're gonna set it next to the one that came out of it. Now you can see why these fit so shitty. In the previous rebuilder, we're supposed to cut this little nub off of it right here. Only 46 REs are supposed to retain this nub. This must be an upgraded pin in the middle. It looks like it. So they already did that wrong, but you see how floppy that is? Not good. Fits like dog shit. So once this band gets a little bit out of adjustment, these like to cock in the bore and get stuck, and sometimes they'll break the piston. They'll break this piston right here. Sometimes fucking this will break, which probably is what happened already since it's replaced, or sometimes they can crack the case. So mandatory, I always upgrade these. And then I like to put a spacer in between there to get rid of all the spring. Put a little spacer in there to make it so it's solid. And then this has one big lip seal at the bottom and then 2 support PTFE rings. Really nice piece for 39 bucks on eBay from Superior. Let's try to walk this thing in there. 1 second here. There we go. Yeah, like you guys can see, you can't move that thing around at all. Really nice piece. And then we just got our Sonics kickdown servo Sonics accumulator. You're gonna be putting the stock kickdown spring in here with the Transgo Pro Kit. The Pro Kit's gonna tell you to put their spring in it. Don't do that. We're gonna put the stock spring in here, no matter if it's a Sonic servo, no matter if it's a TCS servo. Put the stock spring in there, set the band 2 turns out. That's what we're doing here. I've already got this all figured out, guys, so just take my word for it. If you put the Sonic shit in there, it's not going to be right. I mean, if you put the Transgo spring in there. And then if you want a firmer second 1 to 2 shift, you want a firmer second gear, just leave the spring out that goes right here. This accumulator spring, just leave it out. It won't hurt anything. You'll get a firmer second gear. Yeah, so we're just going to make sure that's freewheeled. Now we're going to put this bronze washer in there with the snap ring. And then I'll get to the next step here. When guys do this, if you're a builder and you got shit doing this, and this isn't the first time I've got a trans smoked from this guy. Like, and I'm not even throwing shade. Get your shit together, dude. Like, come on, man. These people spend their hard-earned fucking money. And a lot of time it's younger kids, and most of them it's money not from their parents, but you know, whatever. But these guys spend 5, 6, 7, 8 grand with these fucking jackasses, and these people don't even know how to build a trans to hold power. Like, this trans was already supposed to be built to hold 1,000 horse, and look, fucking this shit's not even TIG welded all the way around. You know, you name it. It's got stock shafts throughout. Had a stock pan on it. I mean, the valve body wasn't even fucked with. Like, what in it was... look at the converter. Alright, guys, this is probably the dumbest fucking thing about building one of these. They come with 2 direct drum seals that go right here on the inner lip right there. If you accidentally put the one in on the right and you have a high pressure valve body, you're just going to have fucking nothing but direct clutch burn up. If you put this one in on the left, you're good to go, the thicker one. If you can read this little note right here. It says the enclosed direct clutch inner lip seal has an increased radial width to provide better sealing. Okay, so why the fuck would they still give you this one? I do not understand it. Like, if it gives you better sealing, it shouldn't matter what unit you put it in. Why would they fucking fuck you like that? So just make sure you guys look for that. We got our stator support bushing in. We got a direct drum bushing in. We got a pump bushing in. Pump's rebuilt. I put a non-Taiwanese set of gears in it. So don't order those $30 set of fucking gears, guys. I'll tell you that right now. You're gonna want to just go through some other core Chrysler pumps and find a set of gears that are under 7 thou clearance. between the lobes of the gears. The lobes that were in this pump are 6 thou, and the ones I just put in there, the used ones I put in there, I resurfaced them a little bit. They're 4.5 thou clearance between lobe to lobe. I don't know if I have a pump over here, but you're gonna put a feeler gauge. You're gonna squeeze it down there and put a feeler gauge between the lobe to lobes. Those are a couple more good ones I got. I got some billet gears here somewhere too, but they're fucking junk Goren bullshit. I got a whole bin of 48 RE pumps that have been ruined by billet Goren pump gears. Like there's at least 10 or 15 fucking pumps in there that I thought I was giving my customers a good upgrade by giving them, you know, billet pump gears. And it turns out they eat the fuck out of the fucking pump housing. So if you guys got billet pump gears, I suggest you pull them motherfuckers right out. I was having back-to-back failures, and I fucking bitched them motherfuckers out. So bad. Anyway, we're gonna get this direct drum stacked up. Just wanted to show you guys that though before I fucking forget, because if you accidentally put that little fucker in there and you got 185 plus psi valve body, you're gonna have all sorts of fucking third gear flares. It's gonna burn up the fucking third gear clutches like this guy did probably. That's probably what he had in there. I didn't even look. So yeah, we're moving right along, y'all. All right, guys, that's gonna conclude the part 1 of this video. It's getting to be almost 50 minutes long. I don't want to lose your guys' attention, so consider that a part 1. I'm gonna immediately work on part 2. Anything that I didn't cover, like this, or installing the direct drum piston or rebuilding the pump, it's all stuff you can refer to your ATSG manual for. That's a couple of things that you can trust the manual to follow. In order to do your direct drum, you're gonna need one of these direct drum compressors. You flip these around and you can push the piston down. It's made by Street Side Tools on eBay. They're like $50, or you can make one. But when you're compressing this direct drum retainer, you got to push in 3 spots. So you can use 3 of these Irwin clamps and like a socket under each one, like a 15mm socket under each one, and push that down. But basically, you're just gonna get that retainer down, pull the snap ring out, change the lip seals, put it all back together very carefully, not to roll the lip seals. But yeah, this part 2 is gonna be I'm gonna show you a lot more of what you got to do to get these to hold power, how you're gonna stack your clutches, and then other little tips and tricks. I'm not going to leave anything out. And part 3 is going to be all valve body. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Me trying to show you guys how to do this. I hope I still have everybody by the end of this video. I'm trying to get better at editing. I'm also busy as hell. So yeah, she's coming. Basically, you're going to get this stuff done like I showed you, and then you got your sub-assemblies, your pump, your direct drum, your forward drum, and input. You know, and you keep chipping away at it. I'm gonna go back over this forward drum. I didn't show you guys anything on the forward drum yet. I totally forgot. I'm sorry. I will go over that in the part 2 video, because it's real easy to fuck up the clearances on that. So I will show you guys that. Don't worry, I did not forget. Thanks, guys. Please like and subscribe. I'm really trying to get this channel to 1,000 likes, and then I can really start just making money, and then really showing you guys some cool shit that I've been holding back. So we got a whole set, and I don't want to do it yet until I get to 1,000 subscribers. That way I can start spending more time on it. So please, guys, if you see this video, please just subscribe. Even if you're not going to watch it, just get me to 1,000. Then I can really just start monetizing it. Even if I don't make much off it, I can get my foot in the door. So thanks, guys. Hope this stuff helps. If anyone's got any questions, just let me know.